What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the next edition of the Horror Chronicles, where every scream tells a story. We are diving into the dark crevices of the narrative that is the Song of Horror, and we are wrapping this one up with the finale today. Says it right there, finale. There. That's what it is. We're going there. Where is there? We have no clue where there is. It's the place that this dark place, this sunken place. I don't know. But we're gonna go there. We left off. We lost Lydia yesterday. So sad, so disappointed. That was all me, my fault. But I feel like we're in a really good spot. I'm feeling really, really confident. I feel like we moved very smoothly through episode 5. And I'm excited. I'm excited to finally see what this end result is going to be. I'm a little confused on exactly where this song came from and how the music box became this big thing, because obviously at one point it wasn't even a music box, it was just a song. The song that was then discovered, it then was played in the Abbey, which caused that cursed concert. It was played again on that ship, and then everybody died on the ship, and then it was then recorded for whatever reason. For whatever reason, this Argo Legrand wanted this for. Doesn't make any sense. He just sounds like a sick rich person. But he suffered, just like everybody else that encountered the song, and we need to save Daniel's life before it is too late. So let's hop on in.
What saved Ariadne would not save me. She had grown up with that melody and had developed a mind so distorted that it could withstand the horrors it saw each day. But there was another way out. To break the connection between our reality and that terrible place. To take the song and its nightmares to their place of origin. I was the only person who could do it. The only one who had heard the melody and, so far, lived to tell the story. Time was running out. The mansion was still far away, and my damned card chose that precise moment to go belly up. Everything seemed to conspire against me, but I wasn't about to give up. There wasn't much time left, but I knew I still had a chance.
Let's go. We're doing it. We're gonna do it, Daniel. Let's finish strong. Got this, homie.
It's almost over. Just find the box and take it to that place. Come on, you got this. Hello?
Ariadne. Come on, Ariadne. Answer the
She
door.
doesn't answer. I should go inside. Ariadne. I have to find her and ask her about the music box.
That's just standing there like that. Makes sense. Makes absolute sense.
No. Mrs. Legrand, pardon me for barging in like this, but I need that box. The box. The music box I gave you. I need it. Please, tell me where it is.
Its box is upstairs.
Thank you. I promise I'll free both of us from that cursed thing.
Upstairs, Mr. Neuer. In my room. There.
Alright, so we gotta go upstairs. We're gonna just jump straight to it. There's no reason in searching around. We know exactly where it is. Wasn't her room like shut though?
Okay, the box is somewhere on this floor.
So this is not her room, is it? This is not her room. This is her sister's room.
There it is.
There we
I
go.
see it
Look
next
at
to
that.
the mirror.
Look at that. I found that thing quick. Let's do this, Daniel. Jump scare. Oh. See, when
Where am I?
Sebastian was doing it, we didn't see what happened. It ended. So that's how you transfer to the other place.
Dear God. What is this hideous place?
Bernice, should I knock?
Dr. Prestigard? What?
Bernice. Oh, so now I'm Bernice. Okay. So is her thing going to be similar to what it was before? Oh, goodness. Seriously?
There are still 2 patients who haven't heard the song, but I don't remember who they are.
Oh, these are numbers. 2 patients that haven't heard the song. All these rooms are numbered.
Huh.
This machine will play the melody in this cell that I picked. I should choose carefully.
A solar eclipse towering over a great expanse. Have you seen anything like that in your dreams?
No.
Have you recently dreamed about an eclipsed sun?
No.
A solar eclipse towering over a great expanse. Have you seen anything like that in your dreams? Have you recently dreamed about an eclipsed sun? Ariadne, are you there?
He always lies. The man next door. He always lies about his dreams.
Okay. Always lies about his dreams.
Have you recently dreamed about an eclipsed sun?
So he says no. This one, she said he always lies. I asked this patient if they've seen an eclipse sun, and the answer was no. But then it looks like a picture of a sun up there, and it looks like that's the being right there. So it looks like he saw the being. He said no, so that means that she's saying he lied. Ariadne heard it. This one didn't respond. This patient's not responding, so I feel like they probably did. The answer no. It's hard to tell if they did or not. That's the patient that answered in dreams. And that looks like the being too, right? So No, Maddie was good. Oh goodness, this is rough. Is this a guessing game at this point? Oh wait, so there's wires going into the rooms. Alright, so are any of these wires disconnected? This wire, no, all the wires are connected. Information. 6 subjects will be made to listen to Ariadne's music box. The procedure has already begun, exposing 4 of these subjects to the music with surprising effects. Ariadne, the control patient, did not present any changes after listening to the music in her cell, and yet 2 of the other subjects, enclosed in opposite cells, have begun to refer a dream in which they see a dark place with an eclipsed sun. Only one of the 2 has heard the melody. Yeah, 2 of the other subjects includes. Only one of the 2 has heard the melody. It is deemed possible that the other is a case of sheer suggestion, having heard their fellow patient's description. On another note, several subjects taking part in the experiment had placed candles in their cells. Although not all of them have listened to the melody, we assume it is possible that they are simply imitating what they see from the other one. For some reason, the valves to the sound system explode when we play the song in a cell, and there are only 3 left. We must proceed with the last 2 subjects as soon as possible. They must not escape. Oh, well, I appreciate you stopping through, Maddie. Definitely have to come through again. Hope all is well. Alright, so one across from the other started referring to the dream which they saw an eclipsed sun. The one next door, she said that has been lying about their dreams, and the one across had candles, but then the other 2 had drawings of, for some reason, the valves in the sound system explode. Play this song in a cell, and there are only 3 left. Six subjects, alright? Did not present any changes. Listens to music, so she's obviously 1, and yet 2 of the other patients, enclosed in opposite cells, have begun to refer a dream in which they see a dark place with an eclipsed sun. Only one of those 2 has heard the melody. It is deemed possible that the other is a case of sheer suggestion, having heard their fellow patient's description. On another note, several subjects taking part in the experiment have placed candles in their cells, although not all of them have listened to the melody. So it's like they've listened to it and then they haven't listened to it. Like, it's confusing. There's a clock. He does not have candles. It has the figure.
Where's Mommy?
I don't know where she went. Here's the thing. So he has that, and he has the drawing of the figure and the candle. Right? This one has a candle. Darkness, which she said he was lying about. I feel like this one is a no. I think he needs to hear it. I feel like 2 is... So was that right? I guess I don't know if that means it was right or not. How do I know if it did it good or not? Oh my gosh. For some reason, when we play this song in a cell and there are only 3 left, let's proceed with the last 2 songs as soon as possible. They must not escape. So I don't know if that was right or not. I don't know. Let's gotta see if this is. So I'm not sure if that's. I mean, I think that 1 is also because I can't judge 1, right? 1 is quiet, so. Yeah. So I do 1.
Bro, you almost kicked me.
No, I can't be. Help me, please.
Yeah, but 2 was like in the dark, so it just didn't make any sense that. I knew for sure, certain
The
that.
lantern blew out. If I could just do the same with the rest.
Nice. Didn't I find all her paintings? I thought I found all of her drawings, didn't I? I got an achievement for finding all her drawings, didn't I? I could have swore I did. Because I didn't have to restart it. So, let me see. Do my achievements. Find all of Ariana's, paintings. Lost drawings. I found them. Alright. So then, what's... Argos the Grunt. I would really want to know this one, because I want to know what the heck his purpose
This is
was.
unreal.
Like, what his reasoning was for everything.
Good. Yeah.
Oh no, this is when he killed his wife and his daughter.
Ariadne?
Says to be quiet.
Ariadne, where are you? Ariadne, hold on. Dad is going to save you.
Ariadne! Monsters! You won't take my baby away!
I must hide. Don't do it!
They're just monsters.
No!
God.
This place. There. The box. I need to leave the box. Get out of. See you never.
Daniel, come on. Daniel, go. Go, Daniel, go. Go, Daniel, go.
Oh God! At last! I did it! I fucking did it!
Oh, well. There and back again. So, Ariadne. So, yeah, go to Ariadne.
Everything will be okay, Mrs. Legrand. Ah, and that song will never play in this world again. I must have fallen asleep. What time is it? It's getting late. Do you mind if I turn on the lights?
No. It doesn't like the light. No. But it likes the song.
For Elaine, my firstborn and my pride. Oh, he got a music box for the for the other daughter too. So Ariadne and Elaine both had music boxes. Ariadne, we always kept talking about Ariadne's music box, but they both of them had music boxes. That's wild. I wonder if there's multiple endings.
What? Where am I? Hello? Is anyone there? Hello? Help! Somebody! Help! Somebody! Help me, please! Help! Let me out! Help!
Oh, the door is like when you're trying to get out the door from the presence. Crazy. That's pretty wild. So we became part of the presence. That's pretty sick. Alright, this is gonna go... So the credits are rolling. As the credits are rolling, I think I want to see if we can find like a little explainer video. Let's see if we can do that. GG's. That was it was a lot shorter than I thought it was gonna be at the end, but that was pretty dope. Alright, so let's see. So explained. Oh wow, this is 46 minutes.
This fall, thousands of Pennsylvania homeowners are switching from gas to a heat pump system. Here's why. These new all-electric cold climate...
Hello, and welcome to the next installment of Law & Order, the video series where we look at and unpack stories from games. In this one, we'll be looking at the story from Protocol Games' Lovecraftian horror game, Song of Horror. In keeping with other Lovecraftian games of this nature, it was very bleak with paranormal and supernatural events taking...
Let's start here.
We'll start by looking at the Presence, the game's antagonist. Now, the game is a bit fuzzy on the origins of the Presence and where exactly it came from, so I need to mention that some of this section will be heavy speculation. The furthest back we can trace it is potentially as far back as ancient Egypt. A photocopy in the library in episode 3 speaks of one of the pharaohs, Akhenaten. Akhenaten was responsible for abandoning the traditional worship revolving around polytheism, which is the worship of multiple deities, and instead introduced Atonism, a worship revolved around one god, Aten. Aten was the ancient Egyptian deity associated with the sun and the sun's disk. In terms of ancient Egyptian mythology, Aten was considered to be a manifestation of the sun god Ra, one of the most important deities. Now, why is this relevant? Well, it's recorded that no one knows why Akhenaten decided to abandon the religious traditions that were in place, but he also decided to transform the way temples were. It says here that temples were closed off and dark in order to conceal that which was divine. He brought forward open-air temples with good lighting. Some thought of him as a revolutionary, and some thought of him as a heretic. Aten in particular was depicted as the disk of the sun, but with many arms coming off of it, with hands at the end. Normally, each hand held an ankh, a symbol of life, but there were strange depictions which showed some entity replacing Aten, and in these depictions the ankhs are not visible. Now, one theory is that given Aten is a manifestation of the sun god Ra, it's possible that the presence could be a manifestation of the Egyptian god of chaos known as Apep. Apep took the form of a great snake. Ra would carry the sun on his crown, and Apep would attempt to devour it. And this led to many in ancient Egypt to hold the belief that if there was an eclipse, that meant the sun god had forsaken them. The end of the eclipse obviously meant that Ra had escaped with the sun intact. Now, this could be why there is an eclipse visible in the world of there. The snake, or the serpent, is of course the symbol of evil, the serpent being in league with the devil. There was also the fact that the devil, before he was cast out of heaven, was the angel in charge of music and worship, and this could bear some meaning and give a connection to the song. The other theory is that given the game and its horrors are eldritch in nature, Lovecraftian, the presence could be the King in Yellow. Some accounts see the King in Yellow as an avatar of Hastur. Some others consider the King in Yellow an avatar of Nyarlathotep. Very similar, no? Whilst Dr. Prestegard was investigating the music box, she'd receive a letter from a friend who had come across an article in a history magazine. They noted that the drawings that Ariadne had drawn to be very similar to drawings found on walls in the cave of Altamira in Spain. They were thought to be from the Paleolithic, aged at over 40,000 years old, so they stretched back even further than the time of Akhenaten, which was only just under 3,500 years before the game takes place. In terms of the place there, the origin of the song, well, no one really knows what it is. It's really just a pocket dimension on the other side of a mirror. But that's part of the mythos, though, isn't it? There's so much we don't know, and it should probably just stay that way. There obviously doesn't follow the standard laws of time, as Daniel was trapped and part of the presence when Sophie was in the Husher mansion, when he was actually inside the cell beyond the strange door, having been trapped there for 3 days. The presence, of course, is not its official name. That was just the name that Argos Legrand gave to it. It's mostly just a collective consciousness, as it seems that each victim is very much aware of what happened to them, as seen with Daniel when he's trapped as part of the presence at the end of the game.
Oh, so that, I guess that was just a regular ending.
So we looked at the potential origins of the song and the presence, but the place where all of this kicked off was St. Cecilia's Abbey in 1912. Firstly, St. Cecilia was a Roman martyr who became the patron saint of music. An annual feast is still held on the 22nd of November, along with concerts and festivals. She also goes by the name Cecilia of Rome. Anyway, at some point when the Roman Empire was split, the song had made its way to the Byzantine Empire, specifically Constantinople, which of course became modern-day Istanbul in 1930. One of the monks named Wolfgang had been in Constantinople and had been looking somewhere they shouldn't have been, and came across an interesting piece of music. They had an upcoming recital for the feast day of St. Cecilia, so they took it back to the abbey with them. The music was notated in Celtic, a form of Orthodox music used by the Greek Orthodox Church. It was transcribed by a violinist who noticed that when he would practice the melody on his own, it felt disturbing. During their practices, the song's effects would multiply the more people were playing it. Then in 1912, what would become known as the Cursed Concert took place. They started to play the music and everything started to go haywire. The abbot, Father Agorno, writes in his diary that he considered doing something in order to stop the horrors. His answer, from what it seems, was to create an effigy of worship, an idol bearing the resemblance of the presence itself. He got frustrated when his fellow brothers didn't bow down in worship to this idol. He speaks of Brother Ernino, the librarian. Brother Ernino was actually the lucky one, as he wasn't present in the church when the song was being performed. He was tasked with guarding the sacred texts in the library. He reports hearing the screaming coming from the church. He went there and saw the people there turn into a demonic form, and then back to normal. The monks and priests who were affected were taken to the cells on the upper floor and were locked in. Then they locked the cells behind an ornate door requiring 4 keys, each entrusted to the abbot, the prior, the librarian, and the treasurer. The prior, Father Malachias, wasn't as lucky as Father Ernino. He would be haunted by the screams of those on the other side of the door, and his guilt would grow. Brother Ernino wanted to open the door and free their brothers. He was suffering from the guilt of abandoning them, so the abbot killed Father Ernino, and he was buried along with his key inside the sarcophagus in the cemetery. Father Agorno considered the idol their only path to salvation. The abbot slipped further into madness and insanity. He killed more of the priests, purifying them. He thought he was saving them, but he was being deceived. The abbot was then committed to building an altar for him. He is of course referring to the presence. Before they all died, killed by the abbot or deleting themselves from existence, the key bearers all wrote admissions of guilt on scrolls. The abbot would gradually come to be taken by the presence completely, and he became a grotesque version of his former self,
so
haunting and hunting anyone that stepped foot inside the abbey.
So that's
1 year after this event in 1913, that is when Argos Legrand would go to the abbey
awesome. I didn't
to
realize
investigate
that was
paranormal
him.
activity, but he found something far worse.
Yeah, but Legrand was
The Legrand
trying to
family were
find it.
very wealthy. They were industrial tycoons.
What did he want
Argos
it for?
Legrand was the surviving heir of the Legrands, and he married Lady Natalie of House Amsberg. They had 2 children, Elaine and Ariadne. There was a vast fortune that was left for Argos, but he was obsessed with the paranormal and traveled the world exploring paranormal events, which were documented in the book found in the university library, Natura Tenebrosa. Of course, inside that book would be his final expedition. He went to St. Cecilia's, and I'll let Dr. Prestegard explain the rest.
After spending a considerable amount of money, he got his hands on the only remaining sheet music from the concert and convinced an acclaimed musician to play the music one more time. The new cursed concert would take place on a steamer that would sail down the Rhine a few weeks later, and both Legrand and his assistants would be there to contemplate the true effects of the song. After the concert, the tycoon wrote the following in his diary. "Those ignorant, illiterate fools. I can only laugh at their curse and their stupidity. The only misfortune that damn song has brought is a hole in my bank account. Alas, at least I take the melody with me. I will have it recorded and play it each day for my family. Ha! Those drunk, lazy bastards. Their misfortune was caused by their own stupidity and bad blood. Wanting to put the blame on a song is yet another sample of their total lack of culture." Argos Legrand never knew that the steamer suffered a strange accident just hours after he got off that killed everyone on board. And yet his thoughts on the melody eventually changed. They did indeed change.
So, with the steamer accident unknown to him, Argos Legrand returned home from his travels without the equipment he took, and had pretty much spent all of the wealth he'd inherited from his family. As we know, he had the melody crafted into a music box, making 2 identical ones, each for his young daughters as gifts. To 8-year-old Elaine and to baby Ariadne. The song would play. Then Argos Legrand died in mysterious circumstances. He killed his wife whilst being tricked by the presence, along with 8-year-old Elaine, and then racked with guilt, he ended himself. The police deemed the incident to be a violent robbery, and Ariadne was the only survivor. Ariadne, whilst initially in the care of police officers, was then sent to the Jeremy Hartwood Mental Hospital, and that was where she was observed and examined by Dr. Berenice Prestegard. You see, Ariadne, given that she had been subjected to the song since she was a baby, was kind of immune to its horrors, as her mind was already warped by it, and she was, I guess, used to the horrors she saw each and every day, and she essentially became an agent of the presence. It's entirely possible that since Ariadne was an agent of the presence, she was purposely sending the box out and trapping people in order to add to the presence's growing number of victims. As a result, it's possible that Ariadne was able to see into the future, which is how she was able to draw pictures of future events, such as the paintings that Dr. Prestegard saw in her
I don't understand why we
dreams,
even had to go
and by
back
drawings
to
that were
her.
discovered in the mental hospital.
Like, it seemed like from the beginning she didn't really care. So then why?
Okay, so finally we'll look at the journey of the music box and how it ended up where it did. Firstly, as we've already discussed, 2 music boxes were made by Argos Legrand. When Ariadne was older, she'd been getting rid of a load of old furniture and got rid of the wardrobe and her music box, which was sold at auction and bought by none other than Isaac Faber, owner of the antique store. But she still had her late sister's music box. Anyway, Isaac listened to the music box and he was dumbfounded. The music box was ornate in appearance, but the melody struck him as peculiar, so Isaac sent the box along with a letter to his friend Sebastian Huscher. Sebastian was a best-selling author of historical fiction who, of course, also worked at the State University of Arts and Humanities. He was married to Catherine and they had 2 children, Julia and Saul. Isaac's hope was that with Sebastian's connections and his contacts at the university, he would be able to trace the origins of the box and what the melody was. So Sebastian got to work in researching the music box and its melody. About a week later, Sebastian would receive a letter from Isaac, which mentioned that he's having trouble sleeping and that the antique store will be closed for a while, at least until Isaac's daughter Erica returns from her travels. Sebastian would then respond to Isaac, telling him that he too is having trouble sleeping, but that he put that down to the stress he was feeling over his latest novel. He did, however, find out something about the box, that it was European, late 19th, early 20th century, and he considered it to be a luxury item. 2 days later, Isaac had written back. This time he warned Sebastian not to listen to the music box, that something is wrong with the melody. He's hearing it over and over in his head. He feels like something is watching him and that it's there with him. He apologizes for sending him the box. 3 days later, Sebastian responds and says it's too late as he's already listened to the melody. Not only that, Catherine and his 2 children listened to it as well. He's worried now that his family are in danger. He is forced to send the music box back to Isaac. He does, however, say that he will keep researching it. Just over a week later, Isaac received the box back. He asked Sebastian if anything has changed, if he feels better at all. He considers that maybe he should do the same, to send it back to where he got it from. He will await Sebastian's reply, but he mentions that he still feels a presence, like he's being watched. 4 days later, Isaac would receive a letter back from Sebastian. He says that he knows who made the box, but that person is dead. The man he's talking about is, of course, Argos Legrand. He believes the key is in returning the box. Sebastian mentions that things have improved since sending the box back. But the reality is that they haven't improved, at least not for Sebastian's family. Sebastian would go to the university and attempt to discover more about the box and its melody, and this would lead him to St. Cecilia's Abbey, and he would head there.
Isaac, my dear friend, you don't know what you've done with that cursed music box. By the time you tried to warn me, we had all heard the music. Now I find myself trapped in a tragic race against time. I had a hunch. I thought that perhaps by returning the box to you... Damn it, I've been such a fool. I lied, Isaac. I'm sorry. I just need you to hold on while I find a way to make things right. I left the house without telling Catherine. How could I possibly explain something like this? I thought she'd never believe me, and I was wrong. But now it's too late. I only hope you're all safe, and that you will find a way to forgive me. I must put an end to this once and for all. For my family, for you, and for my own sake.
Back at the Husher mansion, Catherine and the two children, Julia and Saul, were being tormented by the melody. Julia saw the mysterious door in the office, but no one believed her, and the door disappeared. So she decided that to make people believe her, she would find the door again, and this time would leave it open. The torment got so bad that Catherine and the children would even go as far as avoiding sleep altogether. This baffled the housekeeper Masha, who knew the children since they were babies, and said that this behavior was totally out of character. She says that she hears them crying in rooms, but that she can never find them. She eventually attempts to leave, but as she heard the music box, she too was taken by the presence. So, 4 days before Daniel went to St. Cecilia's Abbey, Sebastian went there to follow in Argos Legrand's footsteps. And this section was seen through a bonus section in episode 3. Sebastian went to investigate and found a way of testing what the prior wrote down as a strange ritual. The trick is to sit in front of a mirror, observe one's own reflection, and to dim the lamp until the eyes can no longer see. If done right, the reflection in the mirror is not what it should be. They also write that the more the horrors appear, the less time the person has. Whilst in the room, Sebastian got chased through a door by the ghastly abbot. Unfortunately, this room's corridor led to the cells, and Sebastian enters one of the cells where he can test out the method that he'd found. Sebastian ends up alone in the dark, and as we know, he died after being trapped there for 4 days until he was discovered by Daniel. And that's pretty much it. This was a very good game and I enjoyed it a lot. I loved the ending. I have seen a lot of people saying that they didn't like the ending, as it feels like they were robbed, that they went through all that for nothing. But that's the true spirit of a Lovecraftian game. They traditionally have a grim outcome for the protagonist, who usually succumbs to madness or death at some point. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below with your thoughts, but for now, take care.
Definitely give you a like and subscribe. Got you. Thank you for that information. Alright, well that was definitely refreshing because I felt like we did something wrong, but we didn't. So that was our first horror chronicle game that we completed, Song of Horror. We will be returning with the Horror Chronicles next week and beginning Tormented Souls. Excited about that one. I know that Tormented Souls 2 just came out recently or is about to come out. So yeah, definitely like third person, similar vibe, but that's more like Resident Evil-esque, Silent Hill-esque, where we can actually fight back. These instant kills, man, and this permadeath was getting me. But I really feel like as of late, I've been getting drawn to these Lovecraftian horrors. So we did Song of Horror, we did Forgive Me, Father, Still Wakes the Deep. So yeah, I feel like that Lovecraftian vibe, the Eldritch stuff, like is really dope. It really gives like a old school Silent Hill type feel, and then it has those classical Lovecraftian stories and tales tied all into it. So it was really dope. So Song of Horror, highly recommend if you're a survival horror fan. Very good story, ambiance, story, everything was just like on point. Loved it. Loved the characters, everything. Thank you. So this was a short one. We wrapped up the game, but that means you can go watch Thursday Night Football, because I know I'm about to. Nice. Peace.